Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series of Cryptography Network Security. I am your instructor Dr. Ramesh Prajapati, and today I am going to discuss the basic terminologies of RSA. RSA is a public key algorithm, or we can say that it is the asymmetric algorithm. So let's see the agenda of this video lecture. First, illustration, co-prime, and the last is the Euclidean algorithm. So these are the three main terminology which we are going to use in a RSA algorithm. So first of all, we have to clear okay, what do we mean by Euler's tuition, co-prime, and the Euclidean algorithm. So let's start with the first terminology here, Euler's tuition. So here Euler tuition is defined as a phi of n, and if you need to find the phi of 10, n is any integer number. So let's take an example. If you need to find the phi of 10, so the first find the factor of 10. So now you can see in the first step the factor of 10 is a 2 times 5. It means 2 multiplied 5. So write all the numbers less than 10. Now in the second step, write all the numbers in less than 10. So you will get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Less than 9 and less than 10, it means 1, 2, 9. Now in the third step, now cross all the multiples factor of 2 and 5 from above listed number in step 2. So now if we cross the multiple of factor of 2 and 5, so the cross the 2, 4, 5, 6, 8 and 10. So now the remaining number, now the count the remaining number in step number 4. So the remaining number is 1, 3, 7, 9. So total number is 4. So now your phi of n equal to 4. So here basically this Euler's tuition function is the number of positive integer less than and the relative prime to n. What do we mean prime? So prime has no divisor other than 1 and itself. Like let's take example 2, 3, 5, 23, 11. These are called the prime number. Now, for example, if we want to find the Euler's tuition function of any prime number, let's say the 5. So the 5 of 5 following above step, we get the phi of 5 equal to 4. It means we can derive that Euler's tuition tuition. We can derive that Euler's tuition from any prime number is phi of n equal to n minus 1. So now here if we are n equal to 5, so the 5 minus 1 you will get the 4. So your phi of 5 equal to 4. Now in RSA we have assure the p and the q as a prime number and n equal to p multiply q. Hence we can derive that the phi of n equal to p minus 1 multiply q minus 1. It means in RSA if we are assume that the two prime number p and q, and we can derive the one equation for phi of n equal to the p minus 1 multiply q minus 1. So we will use this equation in the RSA algorithm. Now next topic is what is co-prime. So the co-prime, it means when two numbers have no common factor other than 1. So we say that these two numbers are co-prime. Let's take an example. There are two numbers, the 21 and the 22. These are the co-prime. How? Let's see. So the first we will find the factor of a 21 and the 22. So the factor of 21 is 3, 7 and 21. And the factor of 22 are 2, 11 and the 22. And the 1 is common in both the side. And the 21 1 is common and 22 is 1 is common. So in both the side the 1 is common, and here the definition of co-prime is if number have no common factor other than 1, we say that these two number are co-prime. So here the 21 and 22 are co-prime because there is a no common factor other than 1. Now let's see another example. Here 21 and 24 are not co-prime. So the first one to find the factor of 21 and 24. So the factor of 21 is 1, 3, 7 and 21. The factor of 24 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. So here you can see the 3 is common factor, 1 is common factor of 21 and 24. So this is not a co-prime. So the co-prime are also called the relative prime, or we can say that it is the mutually prime. Now let's see the next terminology, Euclidean and extended Euclidean algorithm. So as you know that we divide the one integer by another integer, we get integer quotient plus remainder. Now let's take one example, 30 divided by 5. If you do this, you will get the quotient 2 and remainder is 3. So now we can rephrase this division by multiplying division 5 both the sides. Means you have to multiply by division 5 both the sides, so you will get the 13 equal to 2 of 5 plus 3. So now if we write in the equation form, so the A equal to QB plus R. Now here if you want to find the GCD of particular number, it means if you find the GCD of two number, GCD of AB is the largest integer that divides without remainder both Q and B. So let's see how to find the GCD of two number. Let's one example over here. If you want to find the GCD of 15, 5, you will get the 5. Now you will get GCD of 17, 9, you will get the 1. So the GCD of two integer can be found repeated application of a division algorithm as Euclidean algorithm. So let's take one example to clear this idea, how to find the GCD of two number. Now before going to start the GCD, before going to take one example, where to stop to find the GCD. That means you repeatedly divide the you repeatedly divide the divisor by the remainder until the remainder is 0. It means you will stop when you will get the remainder 0. Now GCD is the last non-zero remainder in this algorithm. Let's take an example to clear this idea how to find the GCD of two number. So let's take an example to find the GCD of two number. So here the example is GCD 81, 57 by using the Euclidean algorithm. If you want to find the GCD of 81, 57, so here we are using one algorithm and it is called the Euclidean algorithm. So with the help of Euclidean algorithm, how to find the GCD? Let's see. So here we put the 81 from other side of the equation, and so the 81 equal to the 57 plus 27. It means to find how many times the 57 goes into 81. So now here we have to multiply the 57 to 1 plus 24. You will get the 81. Now next term, the 57, we put the 57 is one side of the equation. So the 57 equal to the 24 plus 9. Now find how many times the 24 goes into the 57. So now the 24 multiplied 2 plus 9, you will get the 57, because the 24 times 2, the 2 times 24, you will get 48. 48 plus 9, you will get the 57. So you will repeat these things until you will get the remainder is 0. So now here you can see our remainder is 0. 6 equal to 2 of 3 plus 0. So now you will stop this over here, and our GCD in such bracket there is one number is there. This is our GCD number. So our GCD is 3. So now it is well known that if the GCD of AB equal to R, then there exists integer p and s, so that the p of a plus s of b equal to r. So now by reversing the step in the Euclidean, it is possible to find the integer p and s. So now next, how to find the p and s? So let's see. Starting with the next to last line, we have, you can see, before last line you have seen the 9 equal to 1 of 6 plus 3. So now you will get, now the 3 is goes, now we put the 3 is one side of the equation. So you will get the 3 equal to 9 minus 1 of 6. So here you can see the 3 equal to 9 minus 1 of 6. So now from the line before that we have the 6 of 6 equal to 24 minus 2 of 9. So we substitute this value of 6 in the previous equation. So now here we put the value of 6 over here. So 3 equal to 9 minus 1 of 24 minus 2 of 9. So this is the value of 6. 24 minus 2 of 9. Now the multiply this 2. So 1 of 24 minus 2 of 9. So the minus minus plus, so the 2 of 9 plus 1, you will get 3 of 9. So now the equation is 3 of 9 minus 1 of 24. Now from the line of before, we have the 9 equal to 57 minus 2 of 24. So we substitute the value of 9 in the previous equation. So here 3 equal to 3 of 57 minus 2 of 24 minus 1 of 24. So the 1 of 24 is same. Now multiply this to 3 of 57 minus 2 of 57. So you will get the 2 of 3 to 6, so 6 of 24. So here you will get the 7 of 24. Now from line of before we have the 24 equal to 81 minus 1 of 57. So we substitute the value 24 in the previous equation. So here you will get 7 of 24. So instead of 24 you will write 21 minus 1 of 57. So multiply this to 7 of 81 minus plus 7 of 57. So 7 of 57 plus 3 of 57, you will get the 10 of 57. So now you will get the original value 57 and 81. So now hence we got the value of p and s, the p equal to minus 7 and s equal to 10. So this is known as a extended Euclidean algorithm. So this all about the terminology of RLC. This all the terminology we will be used in the RLC algorithm. I hope you cleared this idea. Thank you.